What's up, guys? You know, it feels good finally to be a world champion. This is something I've been dreaming of since I was 7 years old. This is the most richest history of bout you could get. 147 welterweight champion, WBC champion of the world. That's legendary. Oscar held that belt. Floyd's held that belt. Everybody's held that belt. And now Ryan Garcia is holding that belt. Honestly, this feels like a dream come true. And I couldn't be more happy and blessed right now. I dedicated this fight to my father. You know, that was the beginning of this whole journey. I said, Dad, you know, I'm going to be a champion. Like, I'm ready now. I'm going to commit myself fully. And I promise you, I'm going to win this world title. And, you know, my dad's been there every step of the way since I was 7 years old, all the way through, and never left my side. I've been through ups and downs. I got fame really quick and got judged many times, and I made a lot of mistakes, but I made a 360 turn and committed myself to be the best champion I could be, and I finally feel like I'm here now.
Bob is real. 2 questions. How serious are you about the Shakur fight, and do you want to unify with Devin now that you're the champion?
Oh, I'm open to all those, you know, whatever. You know, Shakur, somebody that I fought in the amateurs, and we went at it, you know, and I felt like I beat him. But, you know, the politics in the USA boxing at that time were a little different, and I still got a chip on my shoulder. I've been wanting that rematch for a minute. Hopefully we get it. And, you know, when my hand heals, I'll be looking for that opportunity for sure. And Devin, he don't want that. He's terrified. He has PTSD.
Do you feel like that you've reached the level that you've not been at before in your career? Is this your finest performance?
I don't know. That's for you guys to say. I mean, I'm always going to love the Luke Campbell one. That's like one that's always sticked in my heart that I had to fight through, got knocked down, was dazed. So that was always going to be up there for me. But this was my most mature performance for sure. And my speed was on point. My jab was on point. A lot of things were on point. I mean, I pretty much did what I was doing in camp. Just to everybody, just like staying. I realized like I'm really faster than everybody. Why am I even like moving? I could just stay right there. Counter, 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 scare them. Like, you know, like why do I even need to move? Like I'm quick. Like when I'm in shape and like on fire, like I'm really quick.
Yeah, I know he did it for me, but I told him before we had dinner last night, and I said, you know what, Ryan? I said, I appreciate that. I said, but you know what? You've already won for me. I said, you've won all these tournaments. You've won all these, you know, fights, professional fights. I said, I've had to humble myself as a father, so I let other trainers train him. What father does that when he's undefeated? But the main thing I said, you know what? Do it for yourself. Because I know if anybody knows my son, it's me. And I know how hard he works. So for all those people that were criticizing him and hating on him, it gives me so much satisfaction. Because they don't know him. No, I mean, I'm serious. They don't know my son. I know my son, okay? And every father should know their son like I do. And thank you, Golden Boy, and thank you, Lupe Valencia.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, Lupe. I can't forget about Lupe.
Oscar.
Shout out my team. Shout out my team.
Oscar.
PJ, my new mid guy. Everybody's like, oh, you just bring in, you know, you guys don't know, like, PJ's the man. PJ know how to hit the mids. He's a beast. Don't forget PJ.
Let's go.
I know a bunch of fighters are going to be asking for PJ. PJ, come on. We got it.
Hey, what
Donnie,
about
Donnie, my strength and conditioning coach. Y'all seen how ripped I was. We worked day in and day out. We paid attention to diet crazy. We were insane with it. We had so many talks nonstop. I learned so much about that, your body and what you need to put in order for it to move. I didn't even pay attention to that shit before. I used to just step into the ring and just start swinging. So thank you, Donnie, for all the lessons you taught me.
As well, I mean, potentially it could be your man next against Ryan Garcia, which is what we want to see, right? Big fight after big fight. That's what you want to be, and that's what you were in as well, Terrence. How do you see, removing your Shakur Stevenson hat, how do you see Shakur versus Ryan?
I think he wiped the floor with him. You know, I don't think Ryan gonna be able to hit Shakur like Barrios. Barrios was right there to be hit. Barrios was too slow. Barrios didn't have no game plan. He followed them the whole fight. And Shakur is not going to be that fighter in there to be hit on. It's just simple.
So,
congratulations to Ryan, man. No better way than to win a world title, welterweight, WBC, the one and only. Barrios Suleiman, Jose Suleiman. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, man.
Were you surprised how dominant of a performance it was?
No, it's just depending on which Ryan you're gonna get, right? And we got the Ryan that everyone likes to see, King Ryan.
If we get that Ryan in a Devin Haney rematch, what happens?
Well, you can't put them guys in yet. We got me in the division now. I'm going in that division, so.
Mario Barrios fired the first warning shot, making it clear he plans to expose every weakness in Ryan Garcia's game when they finally step in the ring.
Exploit his weaknesses and yeah, you know, just every round, you know, just making him uncomfortable.
All right, Ryan, I'll give you the last word. Do you think he can make you uncomfortable? Do you think he can make you ask questions in the ring?
No. I don't.
All right.
Ryan Garcia revealed he has hidden strategy for his fight against Mario Barrios that people haven't seen yet. He looked confident in the hard work and in his preparation. He believed his preparation would speak for itself on fight night.
What do you think of Mario Barrios saying he's going to make you feel uncomfortable?
Kind of gives you a little sense into his strategy. And then try with everything it's going to work.
Hey, Ryan, you look very peaceful. Where's that coming from?
The preparation, inner confidence, and just ready to handle business. Excited to get in there. That's all I can say. Controlling the energy into the contest.
As the big day approaches, Garcia and Barrios can be seen tugging at each other as they try to control their nerves. Mario Barrios had outlined a clear plan to break down Ryan Garcia by keeping him off balance and targeting flaws in his style. While he respected Garcia's speed and power, Barrios believed his own experience and preparation would give him the edge.
What does a dominant performance against Ryan look like?
Just, you know, just making him uncomfortable, you know, just exploiting, you know, his weaknesses, which I think he has a lot in his fighting style. Not saying he's not dangerous, you know, not saying that, you know, there isn't things that he's really great at. I just know that I'm a better fighter. You know, and I've been in these, you know, these big fights before with, you know, talented fighters, you know, with legends, and yeah, it's just gonna be me just using, you know, all that experience with this fight.
Furthermore, he explained that his style meshed smoothly with Joe Goossen's system, often crediting the structure behind his camp. Barrios admitted the grind had been tough, but insisted it sharpened him mentally and physically. Under Goossen, Mario tightened defensive flaws, increased his output, and refined his overall game ahead of Ryan Garcia.
Our styles, you know, they match up very well, and yeah, I'm just, you know, ready to go out there and just show everything that we've been working on.
How grueling can training camp be for a fighter and just preparing for a fight?
Oh, it's a lot. You know, there's a reason why only so many of us do this, and like every time I have a training camp, I'm like why did I choose this? But
yeah, where do you feel like you've improved the most over your like nearly 3 months working with Joe Goossen?
I think a lot, just, you know, just really tightening just everything up, you know. Some I feel like defensive flaws that I had, just, you know, picking up that I work rate and everything, and yeah, I feel like overall in every.
When asked about his mindset, Ryan Garcia said this camp felt completely different from the last one, and Garcia explained that everything had been handled the right way, and Ryan felt confident, prepared, and ready to perform. Speaking of Mario Barrios, he called him a well-rounded fighter and made it clear he expected a real battle. Garcia said both men were coming to fight, and he was prepared to handle his job.
How are you feeling heading into this fight compared to your last fight against Rolly?
Oh man, it's a complete 360 change. You know, things were done in order, done right, and now this is what it should feel like before a fight. You know, confident and prepared and ready to do my job.
What are your thoughts on Mario Barrios as an opponent?
Just a good fighter all around, and he'll be coming to fight. I'll be coming to fight, and we're gonna get it on.
Is this personal in any way?
As attention shifted to the tension across corners, Ryan Garcia addressed the presence of Joe Goossen on the other side. Garcia said it was not personal, but admitted the victory would feel sweeter because of it. Ryan knew that team believed they had the upper hand, and that added fuel to the fire. He compared it to facing a former teammate, determined to prove who really had the edge.
Is this personal in any way for you, given that Joe Goossen trained you for 3 fights and now he's in Barrios' corner?
No, but it makes it that much more satisfying when I do win, especially that whole squad. Because I know they really think they're going to do something. So it's just like, it's one of those things when you're just like, when you're playing your own teammate, and it's like, or you're facing your brother and you just want to whoop their ass a little bit more just because it's like, all right. We were on the same squad. You really think you're like that? All right, say less.
In contrast to predictions favoring a late surge from Barrios, Robert Garcia laid out a clear early path for Ryan. He warned that Barrios' size and strength would become a major factor as the rounds piled up. That meant Garcia had to strike fast and seize control before the 4th or 5th round. Otherwise, Robert believed the fight would gradually tilt toward the bigger, stronger man.
I think Barrios is a big fighter. He's a warrior. He's got heart. I think if Ryan wins the fight, from what I've seen in the past, from what I've seen with Ryan, what I know about Barrios, I think Ryan needs to win before the 4th or 5th round. I think after that, it's all Barrios because he's just big, heavier, stronger. I think after 5-6 rounds, it's gonna be all Barrios.
So you would believe that Ryan takes the early part.
I think
Barrios.
So.
He would have to win by TKO or knockout early.
And like I said, I like Ryan, I like Lupe, I touch
Lupe. Sergio Mora admitted he struggled to fully trust him. He pointed to past failures, inconsistent behavior, and the loss on his biggest stage as reasons for concern. Yet he also acknowledged that when Garcia was locked in, his speed, power, and natural star presence made him electric. For Mora, the fight came down to one question: which version of Garcia would show up on Saturday night?
What's the feeling there?
You know, when it comes to Ryan Garcia, I don't believe him, you know, because he's so erratic. He says one thing and then acts another way. He failed, you know, a PED test. He came up short against Tank Davis on the biggest night of his life. So, you know, he can be hot or he can be cold, but I like this focused, mature version of him. I've seen glimpses of it before, but we also see the erratic side, the psycho side, the drinking side, you know, what are we gonna get? So it's like, you know, who are we talking to? It's kind of like a, you know, Jekyll and Hyde with Ryan Garcia. But when he is on point, he's exciting television because he has 2 things. Well, he has 3 things he can't teach. He can't teach speed, power, and charisma. The kid has all 3 of them. And when he's on top of his game, he's magnetic. But when he's not on top of his game, then we have something that we can't rely on. So
as the fight approached, Eddie Hearn said it was hard to predict because Ryan Garcia had shown both brilliance and inconsistency in the past. Hearn noted that Garcia remained a big name despite the setback against Romero. While Barrios was not flashy, Eddie believed Mario was solid enough to take advantage of mistakes. Still, Hearn leaned toward Garcia winning the fight.
The fight, like, you know, I think it's a very interesting matchup because Ryan is, you can't really make out in the build-up how focused he is or what performance you're going to get because, you know, in the past he's put on blistering performances and then in other fights he's put on lackluster performances. You know, he's talked about his problems in the Rolly Romero fight, but I think Ryan Garcia is very good for the sport. You know, I think the Barrios fight, I think Barrios has never really looked that impressive, but he's a good fighter and I think he's capable of putting a good performance in if you're not on your game. So I actually think it's a really good matchup. I think Ryan Garcia wins, but we'll be tuned in for sure live on DAZN straight after our show in Nottingham.
Obviously, like Conor Benn's been open.
Along the same lines, Gary Antoine Russell favored Ryan Garcia, but acknowledged that Mario Barrios held the edge due to his recent activity and sharpness. He added that it was going to be a thrilling fight, fun, with both fighters ready to give everything in the ring.
That fight, how do they match up? Who are you expecting to win?
Less is more. I want Ryan to win, but I think Mario Barrios is going to take it because he's been more oiled up. He's been active. Ryan, he's been inactive. His last fight, he came off of a loss against Rolly Romero, and I think right now he just went back to the drawing board just to shake off some ring rust. And he's going to showcase what he did in the gym or in camp the next few days. Shout out to Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. May the best man win.
Continuing his analysis, Russell explained that he supported Ryan Garcia because of the energy he brought to boxing. He noted that Garcia's personality and online antics kept fans engaged, adding excitement beyond the ring. At the same time, Gary acknowledged Ryan's speed and footwork while pointing out that refinement was still needed in certain areas.
You said you want Ryan to win. Why?
Yeah, man, because I feel like he bring a lot of excitement to the sport. He's a funny guy. He be trolling, but it's entertaining. I like it, and he's a decent fighter as well, fast hands, good feet work, just some things that he got to work on.
On the other side of the prediction, Brandon Figueroa leaned toward Mario Barrios because of experience. He believed Barrios' grit and comfort in deep waters would matter most, especially if the fight reached the championship rounds. While he expected Garcia to look sharp early, he felt the momentum would shift as the bout wore on. In the end, Figueroa trusted Barrios' toughness and ring maturity to carry him to victory.
But I feel like Barrios, that experience alone is going to give him the edge in the win. Even if it comes down to the 12th final round, I feel like Barrios has that grit, has more of that experience of being in there in the later rounds, and his game, man. Ryan Garcia's game as well, live. But I feel like I'm gonna give the edge to Garcia in the first couple rounds. But I feel like Barrios, that experience is gonna come in handy. And I'm excited, man. But I'm gonna give it to Barrios.
Do you have any?
Matchup, Joel Diaz described Mario Barrios as a proven warrior who consistently brought pressure and action. Diaz contrasted that with Ryan Garcia's explosiveness, predicting a more measured and technical approach from Ryan, likely operating off the back foot and setting up his trademark left hand. Joel expected Barrios to press forward carefully, but ultimately leaned toward Garcia to secure the win.
Barrios has always showed that he's a warrior. Barrios, you've seen him in his fights. He comes to fight. He's an action fighter, and of course, when you see Ryan Garcia is explosive. He holds his own, he holds his ground, and it's gonna be a good fight for the fans. I see a very technical Ryan Garcia, just fighting off the back foot, trying to land that left hook to the head, and Mario's being cautious, looking to pressure Ryan. But I think at the end of the day, Ryan will come up with a victory.
Adding to the growing predictions, Lawrence Osweke noted that while both men showed respect, Ryan Garcia carried the sharper confidence during the build-up. He emphasized that mind games and big fight energy are Ryan's arena, but ultimately said timing, speed, and explosiveness would decide it. Osweke believes Garcia's sharper technique and faster hands separate him from Mario Barrios, pointing to Mario's recent struggles, including a draw with Manny Pacquiao, as signs his peak may have passed. For Lawrence, styles make fights, and Ryan's fast feet and explosive combinations break down Barrios' slower movement and leaky defense.
They showed each other a lot of respect, but Ryan seemed to be the more confident fighter. But this part of the game, the build-up, the mind games, it's Ryan's territory. Let's get down to my prediction. I believe boxing's about timing, and one man's speed, explosiveness, being a sharper technician will be the difference. And that man is Ryan Garcia. Mario's a good fighter, but for me, that's all he is. 2 back-to-back draws says it all. And what I can't forget, getting a draw with a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. And yes, he's a champion and they don't give them away, but I think his run is over. I do think Ryan's fight with Rolly was a real wake-up call, because if he loses again, where does he go? The potential I see in Ryan at his best versus Mario at his best. I think Ryan wins. As the classic saying goes, styles make fights. In Barrios, he's tough, but he's got slow feet and a leaky defense. In opposed to Ryan, fast feet, fast hands, and explosive.
Giving a measured take, Liam Perro said everything hinged on which version of Ryan Garcia entered the ring. Perro pointed out the sharp contrast between Garcia's performance against Devin Haney and his showing versus Rolando Romero, calling him unpredictable. While acknowledging that Mario Barrios was champion for a reason, Liam stated that a fully focused Ryan could make it a dominant display.
Just depends what Garcia rocks up. He was on superb against Haney, and then against Rollies, he looked like a C-D level fighter. But look, I'm sure we'll see this weekend what Ryan rocks up. There's a lot on the line, with his for the title. We'll open some massive doors for him also. But yeah, look, Barrios is a champion for a reason. He's a good fighter, and given Garcia shows up, it should be a whitewash.
As fight night approaches, analysts remain divided, and every prediction only adds more fuel to the tension surrounding this matchup. When the bell rings, none of the talk will matter. Game plans will be tested, adjustments will decide momentum, and one performance could redefine a career. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more sharp, straight-to-the-point boxing content. Drop your prediction in the comments and tell us how you see it playing out.